Mr. Kompany, good afternoon. Are you well?
Good afternoon. I'm fine. I'm really good, yeah.
An awful lot of training, an awful lot of talking been done. Match day one is nearly here. What's going through your mind at the moment?
Excited. We play against such a good opponent, a team filled with players and people that I know, of course, but mainly probably the best challenge you could ever ask for. And I want the team to embrace this game, and hopefully the fans can do the same.
Do you know your team at the moment? I mean, you've had such a lot of changes here in the last few weeks. Do you know your starting 11?
I'm used to change. I've not had the luxury yet as a manager to have a pre-season without change, but I think it goes with accessing to a different level, the Premier League, and yeah, of course I have an idea of my team, but at the start of the season it's always about building cohesion as fast as you can, and without it costing too many results. But you know, we've been through it before, so. We know what we have to be cautious about, and what also are the opportunities once you've gone through it.
Can I ask you about the latest addition, Sander Berge, a new deal for Manuel Benson, and a lot of talk about Aaron Ramsey. Can you discuss those three for me?
Yeah, Sander Berge. I think Sander Berge is a player with Premier League experience, which is important for us in our team. We don't have a lot at the moment. And but everyone knows, player with size, I think technically good, able to receive the ball either in the first phase in a build-up or in between the lines a little bit higher up. So technically good physicality, and a player who we hope we can bring to his full potential. Those who have followed him for many years know that it's a player that has real potential to access to the highest levels in the Premier League, but he needs to prove it, and hopefully this is a platform. And then you mentioned Aaron Ramsey. The latest I've heard is that we're close. So talented players is not our player yet, but I hope he will be soon. And you mentioned the last
Manuel Benson.
Yeah, Manuel Benson. No, Benny. Look, I think with Benny, for those who have followed us last year, he's been a game changer for us, and goals are difficult to find. Scoring from low XG positions, and all that kind of data talk. But the thing is, more important for us is a player who can change a game, whether he does it for 90 minutes or whether he does it in 30 minutes. And these type of players, we have to cherish them. So it was important for us to keep him at Burnley.
Still hopeful of maybe Teller, maybe Maatsen, or are those deals not going to happen?
Yeah, the reality is they used to be our players. They're not our players at the moment. So you're always a little bit in that conflicted situation, because obviously I know those players really well, and obviously the moments we had together, we've had very good experiences together. But at the moment they're not our players, so I have to respect that the decision is not ours, even if they're very good players that we like, of course.
I think the last time Burnley got a point against City, you would have been playing for City at Turf Moor back in 2018. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, I might do. I don't know. I think in this part of the world, I've been reminded about this game specifically quite enough. Yeah.
What are the outstanding memories of that game?
Ooh, I couldn't tell you. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. All I know is that probably I've put in a few headers and cleared a few balls, and that we faced at the time, probably a very resilient team. So those games at Turf Moor. I would say it's fair to say that City has had a little bit of an advantage in the tie between the two clubs over recent years. But tomorrow's another day, and that's the only thing we care about.
How significant is that for you? You've played the cup games against them last season, but in many ways this season, maybe a lot of the Premier League don't know about Burnley, don't know about your new players. Is the element of surprise maybe something you can milk?
Yeah, we played 3 Premier League oppositions last season, and each of them were a different level. I think City was at the highest level probably in world football that you could face, and then we had United, we had Bournemouth, and so those 3 games were of a little bit of different levels, and it were very interesting for us. We learned a lot. I hope that meanwhile our team has improved and will move on again. I'm not sure whether everything will be able to show on the first day of the season, but in the way our mindset is, it's a matter of time before those players, blend in and then eventually compete at this level. So our idea is that we'll be a better team this season.
City have lost a couple of players, as you'll know, that they feel maybe they're a little bit behind everybody else fitness-wise. Is that Pep playing maybe mind games a little bit, or is that something you can take advantage of?
I'm sure after winning the treble, he's all right starting the season slightly behind. I think he'll be all right.
And before I go, can I just ask you about the big news today regarding Harry Kane? You must have marked him on a number of occasions, I would have thought. How significant a move is this for Harry if he goes to Germany? Yeah,
it's there are numbers and discussions that are very, very far from my bed at the moment, so I haven't focused too much on it. But he's a top player, and he's improved with age, so it makes sense. He still has a lot of football in him, and top clubs have always been after him. And I don't know if it happens or not. It's not really been my concern, but I can see why, even at his age, he's still a very attractive proposition, because he's kept improving. He's probably better now than when I played against him, even though supposedly he would have been in his peak back then.
You play them third game, I think, so I suppose in a way if he does go, Spurs without Harry Kane is good for you, isn't it? Yeah,
but I can't imagine them just sitting on that money coming in and doing nothing with it. So I try not to speculate too much. My preparation is always against the best possible team that we can face. The best version of City tomorrow and the best version of whoever comes after. I'm not too worried about the rest of it.
Thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Pass it down to John T from Premier League Productions.
Thank you, Benny, good to see you. In the build-up to this one and since the fixtures were announced, have you spoke to Pep or any of your old friends at Man City? This must be one that personally you're really looking forward to.
No, I think there's probably been an awkward month where there was just congratulations flying back and forth to, between a lot of the people, So, when you congratulate for the league and then the FA Cup and then the Champions League, and in the end you're like, right, when is the right timing, But there are people that I've worked with and lived with for many years in my life, So the contact will always be there. And now for a minute we have to put everything behind us and just go toe to toe, and we'll try and do the best we can. And I'm sure they showed last game that they won't really put the foot off the gas pedal, and that's something we love as well about it.
Your pre-season has seemed absolutely meticulous. Long nights, early starts. Talk us through what you've learned about your team in the build-up to this campaign. The pre-season for us was it was an extended pre-season, but it was the best decision we made. It's so valuable because and even at our level, you get put to sleep a little bit by success. You win a lot of games, everything is nice, you're the best team, and you go to the next level. And even, to be fair, the games we played against the Premier League opposition last year gave us a feeling that we were on the right track. But the biggest thing is to recognize what the level is that's required to be able to compete next season. And I think this pre-season gave us the time to be together, reassess the levels, look at what we wanted to become, and just act. And I think that's what we've done. It's been a really valuable period of time. But the most valuable period of time comes obviously now with the games and the new players coming in. And yourself, I'm really big on cohesion and that aspect of a squad. But you can't force that. I hope I can trim it from 3 months to, rather than 6 months, make it 3 months or 2 months. But that's the nature of the game we're going to be playing now. Thank you, Vinny. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Hi, Vinny. Adam from Radio Lancashire. Hello.
Hi.
Just going back to Sander Berge, has it been a conscious decision to add height to the team, given he's, I think, 6'5"?
Yeah, but we're in a market where usually we compromise, right? Unfortunately, you got to compromise on something. If you want height, speed, good on the ball, like they'll play in the opposition team tomorrow. And it's a different price tag. And I think with Sander, the opportunity in terms of the profile is that he has the potential, but it's time to show it. And with us, I think he's in an environment where
we don't need him to be perfect yet. We just need him to be willing to go to his best level, and that's exciting for us.
If you bring Ramsey in as well, that obviously gives you plenty of options in midfield as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I think with Sander, you have someone that's ready now to add to the people that we already have. But it won't be long before. I mean, for those who have followed the Championship and know a little bit about the upcoming talents in English football, it won't be long before I think Ramsey is also. He will be an English international for me. It's just a matter of time, and we're going to be a big part of that journey, I think. But we don't have to force it. We just have to. These type of players, you go with them, and then at a moment it becomes clear, and then you give them a chance.
Are we going to see evidence of a change in style for you? Do you have to change from the Championship to play in the Premier League and be competitive and successful?
I think you have to adapt and evolve. Name me one style that guarantees you success and one style that makes you go down. You can go through every flavour you want going down and every flavour you want winning the leagues. Maybe not in recent years, to be fair. But the reality is it's the quality of players, and the quality is not linked to necessarily bringing players in. It's just about making sure players get better at what they've done well. The demand will be to be better, but to tilt it around style, it's like an ideological discussion. If you believe one way, you're going to keep believing that way, and as soon as things go bad, you're going to revert to, but you see, you need to change style. But it goes both ways, so I'm not too concerned about that.
Yeah. Wish you well, Vinny. Thank you.
Thank you.
Afternoon, Vinny. John from Lancs Live. First of all, on Sander Berge, obviously you would have seen him for Sheffield United last season firsthand. How long have you admired him, and what was the process behind bringing him to Burnley?
I think as a coach, I don't know if you admire your players directly, but in the end, so I've known him as well from. I played against him, funnily enough, and it's a player that I've always followed. And like I said, in the end, I know that a lot of people would have watched him 3-4 years ago and think he's got the potential to go to the very top level. And but I feel that with us, we want to give him another change of scenery. Sometimes is not bad, and I'm not saying anything negative about what he's experienced before. Just saying, we hope we can kickstart that pathway towards that. And if not, in any event, he's going to be a good addition for us.
You've brought in James Trafford as well as goalkeeper from Manchester City. He's a very ambitious young man, a very talented young man. What was it about him that you wanted to bring him to Burnley?
Just calm, solid, someone that in big moments has makes big saves as well, but also has that calmness, playing with that calmness, helping his decision making. Will he ever be a keeper for the top? I think so. But again, I think our timings and our pathways kind of align. We're at a stage, if we want to have players that can do what we want them to do, and we're lucky we've got two very good goalkeepers. But for us to get those type of players in, it just probably all has to align, and that's what he did at the moment for him.
John and then Shimon.
Yeah, sure. Just finally, obviously, Wout Weghorst obviously left on loan to Hoffenheim. What was the thought process behind that decision?
Yeah, I had a good time with Wout in terms of being able to get to know him, speak to him. He's a wonderful character, and but we just had an honest conversation with each other, and I think he's at a stage of his career where I think he rightly so probably will think or feel like he has to be in a squad that can be built around him, and that makes sense. And there was coaches and other clubs willing to offer that, but in terms of where we were at, we had still different ideas, and we weren't able to commit to that. So at that moment in time, it was a very good and honest conversation, and we said we wouldn't stand in the way of him having the opportunity to continue to play at his age.
Thanks, Vinny. Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Vinny. Shamoun Hafez from BBC Sport. Is it good for yourselves to face City first up, or would you have preferred them later on in the season? And will you be able to gauge how well prepared your team are against the best in Europe?
So one thing is sure, our team will get better from this day all the way across the season. That's one thing I'm sure of. The team will get better just because of the way we work. But we have to be ready tomorrow, and that's the reality of the job. And I don't try and assess too much where Man City are at. I try and, last season we played them just when they turned a little bit, they turned the corner. They had a little bit of a tougher start last season, for those who remember. And then they turned the corner and they went in and they had the Leipzig game 7-0. And obviously our game, as luck has it, just was right in the middle of that period of them where they were like, okay, we mean business now. But that's the team I want to compete with. That's the image I have. Everything else is speculation. We'll see. We want to play against the best.
Pep said early on today that they climbed the top of the mountain last season. Now, no team in English football history has ever won the title 4 years in a row. Do you think they'll achieve that this season?
Look, no team ever did the 100 points. They did it. No team ever won the English quadruple. They did it. No team. Then they won the treble now. So you wouldn't put it past them, right? So, but our concern at the moment is the league starts with everybody on 0 points. So our concern is to get the best out possible for us. That's what we care about at the moment.
Yeah, from the number of signings that you've made, probably Sanderberg and Zeki Amdouni are the ones that are most eye-catching. Who are you most excited about seeing on that pitch?
Yeah, they're all eye-catching to me, but I think you get to know them. I think they're just at that age where I think we can expect performance from them. They're not all young kids that we're trying to blend in. Some of them will be, but I think we've tried to recruit in a balanced way with experience, with Nathan Redmond as well and Sanderberg and those who we already have. Then we've probably hit the market in a certain bracket of players where they can already perform, but they're still young, so they will need to improve. And we got a couple of very young ones in there that are exciting for the future as well. So the only thing I want to say is I think the team is filled with what do you call them? Little Easter eggs that, in my opinion, over the course of the season will just open up and deliver. And if this season plays out in the right way, my prediction is that, but it's an if, right? So it's an if. So if this season plays out in the way we hope to, I think we're able to turn a corner by the time this season's finished for the next season, where we can then look even further forward.
And finally, Andros Townsend's been training with you in pre-season, also played in a couple of matches. What's the latest with him? Has he been offered a deal? Will he be staying on for the season?
Yeah, we initially made sure that we had terms agreed with Andros, and so we did offer him a deal. But it was pending on a couple of things, mainly where the recruitment was going for us, and the recovery of some of the players that we had that were injured through pre-season. So it was quite transparent in that sense. But he's been brilliant. He's been fit, working hard. He's been good for our dressing room. But in terms of what we already had in the building and the players we also wanted to bring in, we just weren't able to. It didn't make sense for us to complete. But my advice and for me is to any manager who's still looking for a winger to approach him. He's shown very good sign for us in pre-season.
Thanks, Mo. Unless anybody tells me differently, one last one. Are you happy?
Yeah.
You
No,
won.
I haven't.
So one here with, and then one at the back with Ellie.
Hi, Vincent, Jonas from Het Nieuwsblad.
Hey, Jonas.
You played with De Bruyne. Do you also know how to stop him?
I don't have to stop him, right? So it's Look, you name Kevin, and then someone else from Norway will name Erling, and then someone else will name someone else. You know, it's a team with the best players in the world at the moment. So the way you do it is just collectively. There's no other way. These guys, it's collectively, and it's to hope that these guys have, I'm not even going to say a bad day, but that our guys have got an unbelievable day. That's kind of the conditions you need.
Okay. I talked to some fans in the city centre. They believe in a win tomorrow because City had a longer preparation. Do you think it's an advantage you had a longer preparation on the season?
Depends. We had a longer preparation with some players where, you know, all these other guys have just come in the building, but we still wanted that because it would help us kind of understand throughout the process what the level was of the squad. Now, in response to your question, the fans have to hope every game, and that's what we want to give. And the players, the coaches, our responsibility is to try for every game to give them something to believe in, and that's how we start this game, definitely.
Thank you, Jonas.
Okay.
And Elliot, the
Thanks.
back.
Do I need a microphone?
No, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Eleanor from Press Association. You mentioned James Trafford earlier. Do you feel like he's ready for the Premier League right now?
I think it's the eternal question to any player that's ever made a debut, and we speak about Harry Kane and where he's going. There's always someone that needs to believe in a player and give him a start. So in terms of the talent and in terms of what I think his actual level, what his level will become, I have no doubt. I'm pretty sure that if it's not now, and I'll leave it a little bit to speculation because it helps me, but if it's not now, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be me giving him his debut in the Premier League, and that's the most important thing, that one day he gets his debut, because that's where he belongs. And the rest is like every young player, you know, you make mistakes, you learn, and the top ones learn really fast.
Just for you personally as well, how much are you looking forward to testing yourself in the Premier League against the best manager?
It's the level in the Premier League in every aspect is, in my opinion, probably the best in the world. And there was a time where it was debatable, right? You could say we have the best players, maybe not the best coaches, or you could say we have the best this, but not the best infrastructure. I think there was a time where it was debatable. I think now everything in this league is of the highest level, and I want to be amongst it personally. But in the end, my job is to make others better, and I'm passionate about it. I want to give the tools and help to my team to get a say in this league as well.